And let's talk a bit about the U.S. Women's Championship as well. Who do you see as the big favorite in that one? We have Irina Krush, obviously eight-time national champion, who is definitely one to follow. We have Begim Tokhchonova, we have Tatev. We don't have Carissa Ip in this year's event. Who do you see, Jennifer, you, of course, who do you see as one of the favorites in that one?
Actually, it seems like we always see a different winner in the women's event, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Irina is the most successful player out of all the players there traditionally. I mean, she's incredibly successful, not only in the U.S. Championship, but in general in her career. So you would say that she's the favorite. But we always see a different winner. Like I remember Jennifer Yu one year just won all her games pretty much. I don't even remember her exact score, but it was something crazy like
10 out of 11.
10 out of 11, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And yeah, we always see someone different. I remember one year there was a race between Nazi Paikidze and Tatev, and it was only decided in the last Tatev Abrahamian, and it was only decided in the last round. That was a race. So I don't know if like Nazi has the let's say practice.
Oh,
right
she
now.
doesn't. She plays one tournament a year.
Yeah,
she plays a US
she's still
championship.
very strong, but does she have the practice that's sometimes necessary to win a tournament like this? I don't know. That'll be interesting, of course, to see someone who's super strong and has won it before, but is she out of shape? Right, that's a question for her. I think Anna Zatansky is playing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So the most experienced player.
a lot
right?
of experience. Yeah,
Huge experience there, but I think she isn't showing her best results in recent years compared to when she was definitely like top 2 in the U.S. like undoubtedly. Right now there's a lot of up and coming young players and it's a lot less clear. So who knows? I mean, there's a lot of people. Carissa would be, of course, a favorite, but I guess she has some university conflicts, or I don't know exactly, but for some reason she couldn't make it this year. And yeah, we see that a lot, that like players of her age who are in university, they're struggling to
especially the
balance
first semester. Especially the first semester,
Mhm.
because I think she's going to an Ivy League school,
Mhm.
and the first semester is just brutal.
It's
She
really
has
tough
to be there. Yeah.
to balance those two things, yeah, because chess is so consuming, and you can't. I mean, you can do it, like you can study during a chess tournament, but it takes away from your chess, and yeah, it's difficult to perform well and also focus on study. So it would be interesting to see her play, but she's not making it this year. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a tough fight as well.
Do you dare to give an official prediction? I'm not going to ask you about the U.S. Championship, but about the U.S. Women's Championship.
I don't know. I don't think I could give a prediction. Like, I'd probably err towards the side of safety and go with Irina if I had to. You know, I hope that Tatev does well and potentially wins it, because she's a personal friend and she's been close to winning the U.S. Championship, but narrowly missed out a few times. So I hope that she does well, but it's really tough. I mean, so many. It's not like in the past where there were a few of the women who were like head and shoulders above others. Now everyone's really good. Now it's really hard to say.
I think another interesting thing about this year's championship is that there's not going to be any spectators. How is that going to affect you, if at all?
No, I mean, I'm used to it. Even I would say more used to it than not, because not even counting like the last few, the Sinquefield Cup, the St. Louis Rapid Blitz, the Chess 9 LX, where we didn't have, but the last 2 years, 2+ years now, very rarely have I seen spectators because of the whole pandemic situation. At some point it was just not allowed, and now it just seems to be less of a thing. Yeah, it was quite rare to see spectators. So now I might even be a bit weirded out if there were people watching. Okay, now we don't have spectators for a different reason, of course, because the chess club is under construction, and we had to use a different venue and all that. So I don't think it's anything related to the pandemic, but after 2 years of it, I'm just used to playing with only the players and no one else in the room. Our players, arbiters, and that's it.
Without giving us too much insight into your preparation and your ideas for this tournament. Are you going to take more of a an aggressive approach, trying to score early on? Are you going to try to keep a consistent, let's say, strategy throughout the event, given that it's such a long event, and just score whenever given opportunities? How are you going to approach this tournament?
Yeah, from my experience, there's no point coming with some sort of grand strategy to an event like this, or to any event, in fact, because things happen on the fly and you have to just adjust to the circumstances. And also because it's a very long tournament, nothing is definitely nothing is decided in the first games. You can't view it as a whole. Like I have to win my first 3 games and then I can keep solid and try to coast home. I mean, every game is important. No game is more important than another. You don't know who you'll play and when and with which color. And I think the most important thing is that comebacks are always possible. I think sometimes people underestimate that. We saw that, I mean, I've seen that personally in my career, but we've especially seen that in the candidates this year. Well, it was a fight for second place, but still, Ding Liren, nobody thought he has a chance in the tournament after starting poorly, and then suddenly he's getting second place and qualifying for a World Championship match. Of course, that's a little bit of an outlier because special circumstances, but looking back on my last US Championship, at some point I lose 2 games in a row. I'm -1 midway through the tournament. Normally I would think, okay, the tournament's over. But I ended up winning 3 games, going on +2, very close to winning the tournament. If just one thing had changed in my last game against Sam, or in the playoffs I was winning against Wesley, I ended up losing, but I was at some point clearly winning the game, then yeah, I win the tournament, coming back from -1. So comeback is always possible.
Absolutely, it's going to be a fun one. First time, 14 players, long event. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.